Hi, and welcome to Meet the Candidates 2018, a voter education program sponsored by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. My name is Angie Whitcomb, and I'm joined today by school board candidate Ivan Pandiyan. Ivan, thanks for being here with us today. We appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
To start, I'm going to have you give a brief introduction of yourself and list any past political experience or accomplishments.
Excellent. Thank you, Angie, and the Shakopee Chamber of Commerce for this video and inviting the candidates. I appreciate that opportunity. My name is Ivan Pandiyan. I have been a proud resident of Shakopee for the past 6+ years.
Great.
I have two daughters who are attending the Shakopee Public School District today. I also work for a company called Endorse Medical. I help manage the budget, this around $300 million budget. Also, I have 2 master's degrees, one in master's in engineering and one in MBA in finance.
Great.
Which is very, very critical for, in my opinion, for the school board currently. In the past, I have, I would say, involved in the political arena during college days, where I have inspired lots of folks towards a common cause.
Great. Well, we're glad you're here today. So to start, school board members serve their districts using a model called board governance, whereby the superintendent and the school administration manage and the school board governs. Can you tell me the importance of those two roles and how they differ from one another?
Excellent question. I believe both roles are very important. According to Minnesota State School Board Association, they actually say the school board members have 5 standards. You should have ethics, you have accountability, you have vision, you have structure, you have communication. So in my opinion, the school board member follows those standards and adheres to those standards. And they set the vision and the goals for the school district. The administration takes those vision and goals and then execute them successfully on a day-to-day basis towards the benefits of students, teachers, and the community.
Great. So what ideas, as a finance MBA, what ideas do you have for rebuilding the district's fund balance? What should that balance be? And what is a goal date for that? When should we achieve it?
Another great question. I believe the fund balance currently for the general fund for the Shakopee Public School District is around 1%. If you really think about even the comparable school district, neighboring school district like Eden Prairie School District, it's around 14%. Why is the fund balance so important? It's like a family having an emergency fund, right? So we rely a lot on the state for the funding. And for example, if the state doesn't give us funding, we are in trouble. So that's why it's very important to have a good fund balance. Today is 1%. I think it should be improved. I think it should be around 8 to 12%, which is pretty much like a 1 month's expenses to run the school district, which is where we need to be, and that's a good place to be. I would say we should target that to be there within 3 to 5 years, because if you really look back, in 2017 we were around that par, but the percent, and then we came down. So we need to get back up. I would say 3 to 5 years is a very good target. With regards to the ideas, I believe that there should be a lot of public-private partnership. Like, what does that mean? As a school district, we have 8,000 students. Add them the teachers, add them the parents. It's a good group of customers/users that we have in our Shakopee School District, and businesses would line up, would love to get access to their students. We should think about the similar structure like college endowment, where you have naming rights. People donate millions of dollars for the naming rights. I've even seen some of the companies, they would actually build the buildings for the school district. You just give them the naming rights. So we just have to get creative in how we partner with for-profit enterprises, and I believe that will continuously improve our fund balance, because state has a standard formula, and that's what you get. You get the number of students, state gives you the funding, so there's a cap to it. We need to think about how we can increase that revenue, the top line, to help increase the fund balance, because the expenses are going to be nearly the same. On the cost side, we spend millions of dollars for the vendors, to service our school district. We should look at those vendors and say how we can work with the vendors to reduce the cost, because again, they have a lot of business to do, and that vendors could be small businesses, local businesses in Shakopee, and work with them to see how we can help the services given at an effective way, in a less cost way. So that's kind of the other way from the cost side. Finally, I would say there's a concept called zero-based budgeting. It's a fantastic way used in the corporate world where you really go back to your current budget and look at the line item by line item and see how does it really adds value to the bottom line, which really means in this case students, teachers, and community. How does it add value? And that really helps us to challenge. Sometimes we get complacent, sometimes we follow the status quo. To get out of that, this budgeting process really helps a lot. So you go back into the budget line items and figure out what is our goal, how does each line item helps with that goal, so we can redirect and reallocate our funding.
Fantastic. Keeping on the financial theme, Shakopee's approved referendum spend is $724 per student. The state average is $1,297. Comparable districts are over $1,700. Is Shakopee spending enough per student, and what would be your recommended per student allowance?
Fantastic question. In my mind, the metric spend per student is a great metric, but it doesn't paint the whole picture for the school district. Okay. The reason I'm saying is because we got to look at how we are spending the dollars and what is the output, right? Outcome of those dollars spent. Because you could be having two school districts where one district could spend less than the other one, while the other district which spends less actually could be more effective in terms of delivering for those dollars than the other comparable one which spends higher. So I would say while it's an important metric that we need to keep in mind, we should definitely go back, for example, in the Shakopee School District, where does those dollars, $724 go? Are they really delivering the value that we want them to deliver? So we should look at that. With regards to where we should be in the Shakopee, I'm all up for increasing the student per spend, but I also want to be conscious on not taxing the community so much along the process. We need to look into, again, as I talked about the earlier ideas, look into bringing other dollars from the for-profit and figuring out a way to increase our student per spend. I would say we should definitely strive to be at least at the state average level and increase possibly. And again, I would say as we increase, we should always look back. How are the dollars spent? Are they really helping the students? Are we being fair to the community and whatnot?
All good questions. So this is a two-part question. What is your view on the Academies of Shakopee model, and how will you ensure its success?
Great. In my mind, Academies of Shakopee model is a great way to hone and specialize some of the students' interests in certain areas before they reach college. We also need to be conscious of the other students who are trying to figure out, because even if you go to college and in freshman year you have an option to choose, for example, engineering, which degree specialization you want to get into. So I think that they have provided that opportunity with the Fresh Academy option, where you can go, take your courses, figure out where your interests are, and pick a model, right? So I believe it's a great way to further enhance and earlier on, so they can be college ready when they want to go into college. With regards to how can it be successful, I would want to say any initiative has its own pros and cons. Never perfect the first step. So we need to listen to the community, get their concerns, listen to the teachers and students, and course correct along the way to further strengthen the model, right? With regards to the success, that's exactly what will make a success.
Great. So if you were a student at Shakopee High School today instead of a school board candidate, which academy would you choose and why?
I would want to choose Business Academy. End of the day, I started with technical in my career, then eventually I got an MBA in finance. So business fascinates me, and it also fascinates me how the businesses can help the community and grow a huge population and the impact on the students and also the future generation.
Sure. All right. Last question. What has the existing board done well, and what work would you be excited to continue?
I want to say Academies is a great example where they have done well, and they have been able to get Mr. Anger in for the interim, get him through the school board process, trying to build the trust with the community. They are in the journey. I don't think they have finished the job yet. So to me, to continue the journey, finances, as we talked about initially, the fund balances is going to be critical for us so that we can have more resources to deploy as we need. With regards to, I would say, student, spend per student, I want to definitely, increase that so we can continue to give more resources for the students. But also the most important, I would say, activity right now for the school board is filling in a leader who would carry on the legacy of Mr. Anger. It's unfortunate that it happened, but I think the Shakopee School Board and the school district has a great, bright future where we can bring in the right leader. We have a good new school board candidates with members. We can have a bright future and move past, from now.
Great.
Here on.
To close it out, I'm going to ask you to share with our viewers why you would be the best choice for their vote this November.
Thank you. Thank you, Angie. Thank you for listening, everyone. For me, I've been a Shakopee resident. I have my goals in the Shakopee School District, and I believe that the Shakopee School District has a bright future. And I also believe that I have the skills with regards to the business background with an MBA in finance, which is mostly the most critical because school board budgets, I would say, is definitely one of the complicated budgets, right? Because you're dealing with $100 million plus here, so you want to have somebody who is knowledgeable in finance, knowledgeable in how we can handle the budget rather than somebody presenting a budget to you. You want to be able to question it, challenge the value add. So you need that technical expertise to bring into the school board, and I believe I have that expertise. I also want to tell the citizens that I would continue to rebuild the trust with the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today. The Shakopee Chamber presents Meet the Candidates as a service to the voting public so that you can make an informed, educated decision on Election Day. We would like to extend a sincere thank you to all of the candidates. We appreciate your time and service to our community. You're performing an important service to us all by running for office. As always, the views expressed in this interview are those of the candidates and not of the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau.